Hello and welcome to Simple Stamping Saturday, a little bit delayed. Long story, which I will let you know all the details about whilst we are creating. But today is the day where I share one project 3 ways. One really simple stamped ink paper, and then step it up a couple of times just to give you some alternative ideas of how you could make that same project, but just involving a few more techniques and products. So let's flip the camera down and get started. So I'm using the Easter Bunny stamp set. I'm not using the punch. The punch seems to be going in and out of stock. It actually only punches out this image, and I am using this image, so I wouldn't be using the punch anyway. But it's a really cute set, not just for Easter. It may be called Easter Bunny, but I think you could use it for lots of occasions. There are 2 Easter sentiments, so Happy Easter and an Easter treat for you, and obviously we've got eggs, which are a bit like a rabbit, or an Easter image, or a bit of Easter imagery. But it's just so cute. We've got It's a New Day, Enjoy All the Moments, which is the one that I'm going to be using. Sorry, All the Little Moments. You're a Friend Like No Other. Hi. We've got a cute little bird, a carrot, 3 bunnies, some flowers and some grass. So let me, without further ado, show you the project that I've put together. And this is it. So I've got those flowers, I've got the bunny, Enjoy the Little Moments, and I've coloured with our watercolour pencils without using a blending brush, a blender pen. So let me show you that. And of course, being Simple Stamping Saturday, I have stamped the outside of the envelope as well. As a general rule, I start with one of our note cards and envelopes. They come in a pack of 20 of each note cards, 20 note cards, 20 envelopes. Really good value, great for quick cards. So yeah, always my go-to for Simple Stamping Saturday. Memento ink. Now, Memento is water resistant. It's not waterproof, but it is water resistant. And the reason I am saying that quite definitely is that if you're going to use your blending brush, sorry, your blender pen, then you want to make sure that your ink is totally dry before you do that. So I would stamp, go off and do something else, and then come back. Otherwise you may find that it'll smudge. I'm not using a blender pen, so I'm not too worried about that. Right, so the crease is here. So if I snuggle the flowers in there, and then I've got my sentiment, and of course, because this is a photopolymer stamp set, it makes lining everything up really easy because you can see through. So that's all of the stamping on the outside of the card, sorry, the inside of the card done. Let me just grab a piece of scratch paper, also known as a mini grid paper, and I'm just going to tuck my floral into that bottom right hand corner of the envelope. I'm not colouring it, it's just a little bit of, you know, I wonder what's inside, there's flowers on the outside kind of thing. So that's the stamping done, and I have managed to restrict myself to just one of our sets of watercolours, and it's the first set that we had, so it's the one that isn't watercolour pencils, set 2, and I'm using Daffodil Delight, Old Olive, Pumpkin Pie, Calypso Coral and Early Espresso. And oh, I couldn't see the card for a moment. So all of the shading I have done just by how hard or light I am pressing. So let me get started. The first thing that I did was take most of the bunny and put a thin, as in light, layer of Early Espresso over everything apart from the insides of the ears, the tip of its nose, and the little splodges on its feet. So everything else is going to have light early espresso. I'm just going to do a circle around his nose so that I know where I'm going, and of course his eyes. We don't want early espresso eyes. So just very gently adding pigment from the pencil onto our image. And I do find that if I've got a flat tip to my pencil, a circular motion is a good way of getting just that light covering. So yes, why am I late today? Well, anyone who watched Thursday's live, and I mean not the replay, or although even if you watch the replay you'll have heard the discussion, there was quite a lot of trolls on Thursday's live. One of my regular followers, Shaz, very kindly agreed to be moderator for my channel, so she was having a look at what was going on as well, which meant I had a bit more time to craft. However, so there were, as I say, trolls, and between us we managed to get rid of most of them, in fact all of them, but one troll was called Liz Yuille 2, and one was using Shaz's name, which was more than a little interesting. Subsequent to that, oh, and my both of the icons on YouTube, for if you comment live on YouTube, if you've got an icon that you use, that carries across to your comment. So I had my little face and Shaz had her little face, so that was all a little alarming. We deleted them, we've blocked them and all that good stuff. But since then, I'm going to add some more colour more to the outside. I'm just going to, before I do that, smooth out some of that diagonal that I seem to have going there. So, subsequent to that, and in fact, when I got home quite early this morning, we were out with my brother and sister-in-law, and got home quite late. And I got home to an email from a US demo who had said, just let you know your account's been hacked because you're leaving really inappropriate comments on people's lives. Which obviously was quite upsetting, particularly as it was the wee small hours of the morning. Anyway, I had a look, and I've not been hacked. I've changed my password, which if your account's been hacked, it's very difficult to change your password because they'll probably have done that for you. I have two-step verification in place anyway. So I was fairly certain that everything was okay, but, you know, at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's not really what you want to be happening. So I've subsequently looked at YouTube's guidance around what you do, and there's basically very little I can do. But I was doing this morning before I realised that A, I hadn't recorded Simple Stamping Saturday yesterday, and B, actually got round to doing it. So there is very little I can do other than ask that if anyone sees me or someone pretending to be me leaving inappropriate comments, please just block them, report them, because if they get enough reports they will have a look at the account to see if it is someone pretending to be someone else, i.e. me. So please, 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 if you see inappropriate comments, report them. The fact that it wasn't just me means that clearly there's something weird going on, as in it was my moderator as well. And the fact that it happened while I was live, again, would suggest that my account hasn't been hacked. But yeah, so my brain has been somewhere else for the last few hours. Surprise, surprise, didn't sleep terribly well last night either. But there we go. So I will obviously keep an eye on what's going on, and I will keep you updated when I've got any news. But it was all a bit stressful. but I would never ever leave inappropriate comments on somebody else's live. It's just not something I would do. However, the positive from this is that the lady who let me know has said, and now I found your channel and it's wonderful, and you know, it's a positive that's come out of it. So, you know, every cloud. So as you can possibly see, I've just been adding more and more pigment and getting this lovely shading going. So I'm now going to switch over to Calypso Coral and just, again, very gently add some colour to his nose and the inside of his ears. But very gentle colour. And then to his feet, I'm putting a little bit more on his feet, not much, but a little bit more. It's a very small area, so there I don't know, you'll probably see it better when I've got the photographs going. And then I'm going to use the same colour on this. I'm thinking of this as a rose, so I'm putting a lot of colour in the middle and then not so much on the outside. There we go. Pumpkin pie. I'm going to colour the petals in pumpkin pie, and then I'll add the middle of the other two flowers also in pumpkin pie. I'm putting a lot more colour on this one. And then Daffodil Delight, so I'll go in with Daffodil Delight in the centre of that flower, and then on the petals of the other two. And then finally Old Olive for all of the foliage. Again, I'm going to add more colour in the middle. And then we are very close to done for that. So there we are, that's the image. Let me just, I've got a zoom facility, so if my mouse would care to work. There we go. Hopefully that's clearer. Right, so fold in half along the crease line. The crease line is already there, which is wonderful. And that is our simple project. Not necessarily quick, but it is simple. And then for the stepped up versions, I've got this one, which I've coloured with blends, and the flowers I've moved up here to be a headdress. And all I did was stamp the flowers, then stamp the flowers again on a piece of our masking paper, and covered this area before stamping the rabbit. The mask doesn't cover all of that, so this is the mask, and if I pop it onto the front of the stamp case, so I've not cut here or here because I didn't need to, because I could go, yeah, no, don't need those bits. So just that little mask, stamp the rabbit, did a bit of spritzing with my black marker, so just got the brush end and flicked. And then some of these fun flower resin shapes. 1, 2, 3. Pear Pizzazz Subtles Designer Series paper. Now the colouring for this, I used the same colours for the flowers as I used here. So Old Olive, Pumpkin Pie, Daffodil Delight. And again Calypso Coral for the pink. But the rabbit itself, I used some of our naturals so the skin tones, and I used 700, 800, 900 and 1000 for those. So that's that version, and then just this is just stamped, and this is the reverse pattern of this, so it's a sort of stripy pattern. And then for the next version, which isn't hugely stepped up, but I've used the same paper here, and I've used one of our new 3D Basics embossing folders. This is one of the dies from the Blossoming Happiness dies. So it's that paper, torn ring bound paper holes. Same colouring, just fussy cut, and then the same little embellishments. So those are today's cards. So I hope you have enjoyed those. Sorry it is afternoon rather than morning, but I hope you've had fun watching that. It's a lovely little stamp set. Even if you can't get hold of the punch, you don't need the punch. This isn't a difficult image to cut out. I made it slightly more difficult having the flowers, but the rabbits just on their own are pretty straightforward to fussy cut, and it covers so many occasions. So thank you very much for joining me. If you've enjoyed it, a thumbs up is always appreciated. Questions or comments you can leave below in the description bar. Let me just flip the camera up so that I can say goodbye properly. There we go. So if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, you can do that. It's normally in the bottom right hand corner. And if you hit the alert bell as well, you'll get an email when I go live. And I think when I upload a video, but definitely when I go live. So yeah, you'll catch all the fun. Thank you very much indeed. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye for now.